All right, a very good morning to you. It's actually the first Monday of a new month, and we are actually closing the first half of the year, that is 2023. So I want to say Happy New Month to you, and thank you so much for joining us. This is Your World. My name is Winnie Lubembe, and I hope you're looking forward to a great day ahead. And of course, we have an interesting conversation that we want to have this morning, and this is as far as family planning method are concerned. And today we want to focus on the permanent forms of family planning, but specifically focus on two. All right, we've done vasectomy here on the show. At some point we've had a conversation on the same, and we'll also be focusing on bilateral tubal ligation or ligation. All right, so what exactly is it all about? That is what we want to focus on the conversation today. So you want to stick around just to get to understand what exactly that's all about, and who are the targets for the same. And because I was reading and they were saying this is not for everyone. Okay, so you want to stick around just to get to understand why is that the case. But at the same time, if you have any other question as far as the conversation goes, feel free to reach out to us. Our lines are open, first of all, so give us a call any minute from now. And of course, we'll be looking forward to hear what you have to say. Share your story, ask your question, and of course, you'll get all the answers you need. But at the same time, if you want to interact with us on our socials, again, feel free to do so. That is at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on Twitter. And of course, to help us with the conversation today, we have Wycliffe Otieno, who's a family planning service provider, here to just shed light, really, as far as permanent family planning methods are concerned. What are the risks, what are the benefits, and what you really need to know. So Wycliffe, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's good to have you. How are you feeling?
Thank you so much, Mabel.
And of course, thank you so much for coming by today. So very quickly, before we start with the conversation, of course, there's a question that we're asking you, and it's very, very simple. All right. So the question is, would you ever consider a permanent family planning method? All right. Very, very simple. There you have it on the screen. Would you ever consider permanent family planning method is what we are asking you today, and we can see a number of you have a lot to say. Okay, as far as the question of the day is concerned. But again, like you said, at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on Twitter, is how you can reach out to us and tell us what exactly you feel about all this. Would you ever consider or not, and what are some of the options for you? There's a lady's comment that I am looking at, and she said she went through the tubal ligation, and of course there's so many other comments down that. So if I get that, of course I will actually read it to you. But someone actually says, my problem is the effectiveness, I think, of the family planning method. This is Dottie who's asking that question, and that is how effective are they? But again, like we said, stick around to really get to understand more on the same. But very quickly, can we just start with at the basic level, right? Family planning method. I know majority of the time when you talk about this, the conversation is usually driven towards the women, all right? And yes, this is a woman's job. It is the woman's responsibility to make sure that, they plan the family. But that is not the case, isn't it?
That's not the case.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think with everything that is developing, and people are trying to get new techniques, new ideas, just to also engage men in this journey of family planning. Mm-hmm. Like there before, where it was known exactly like it's only that thing for women. It's women that are supposed to have family planning. Mm-hmm. But we are here to just say that all of us as a family member, all of us as a couple, mm-hmm, we're supposed to be supporting this. We're supposed to be engaging in family planning. Yeah, so men are also having their family planning. Mm-hmm. In fact, when the pills are coming in a few time, shortly there will be pills for men, compared to the female pills. Okay. Yeah, but right now we have a method that is offered for men, mm-hmm, and this method is vasectomy. Yeah. Is there. So number of men that are there. They've already decided, let me relieve my wife or my, mm-hmm, from this barrier of after giving birth, you have to go through family planning again. Mm-hmm. So you just chip in as a man also to help your person. Mm-hmm. Yes. And
there's a lot of like, back and forth, and especially when we talk about vasectomy. Yes, yes. And I think it's because of maybe people not having, you know, the full information, you know, as far as vasectomy is concerned. Because, and you can understand some of the concerns that the men have, right? You know, will it affect them in one way or the other and all those things? And we can totally understand those concerns. So we'll talk about vasectomy in a bit in today's conversation. But can you just start, first of all, with tubal ligation, right? What exactly is it? And of course, they'll be focusing on bilateral.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bilateral.
So what exactly does that mean at a very basic level? And then we'll get to that. Who gets to, you know, go through tubal ligation?
Yeah, in simple terms, I think tubal ligation, it just means you have your tubes, they're cut and they're tied.
All right.
So that either the sperms or the egg cannot go for fertilization. There'll be no throughway. Yes.
Okay.
In simple terms, that is what it means.
So it's either cut or tied?
It is cut and then you tie.
Oh, it's cut and tied?
Yes.
I've had some women's stories say theirs were burnt. Lichomo. Is that an option too?
No.
Okay.
I will illustrate how to do the tube here. So I will illustrate how to cut and how to tie.
So you cut.
Once you've tied, and then when you cut it, it's out. So there will be no throughway of sperms or the egg going for fertilization. So there will be no fertilization at all. Yeah. So there will be no chances of getting pregnant.
A very, very minimal.
Yes.
Okay, so this is more on the permanent side, the irreversible
they are reversible.
side. That is, you cut and you tie.
What we'll be discussing today is reversible. They are permanent methods. Yeah, the tubal ligation and the vasectomy, these are permanent methods.
Okay.
One of the criteria, the eligibility criteria, we must ask the client that this method is permanent. And for you to qualify, you must have decided that you don't want to have any more children.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you decide the number of children is 5, when you get the 5, you can come for the procedure because you cannot reverse it.
Okay.
Yes, it's a permanent one.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And I know, yes, our focus today is more on the irreversible, permanent, right?
Yes.
But then again, I'm just out of curiosity. Do we have like a reversible form of tubal ligation? Do we?
No.
It's not there?
Well, it's not
like
there.
You can just have like clumps and then once the clumps are removed and that's it, no?
Once it's done, because you know we tie and pull there so that we make there'll be no throughway.
Okay.
Once it's cut off, you cannot refix it again.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is for someone who they are content with the number of children they have, or for someone who has decided, me, I do not want to have kids ever.
Ever. Sure.
Okay. So this is, you have to have I want to believe you have to have a conversation first.
Yes. With
your healthcare provider, with your psychologist or a counselor, just to make sure that this is the correct decision that you're making, right?
Before you do the procedure,
there
are questions we need to ask.
Okay.
Yeah, like we need to know, when did you decide to want this permanent method? Yeah, who decided for you? Hey, yeah, sure. Have you decided that this is your choice? You don't decide to get any kids after this procedure. Yeah, we do a lot of counseling and to make sure that our client is contented. We assure that you don't want to have more children in future. That's when now we'll go in for the procedure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So do you want to take us through what exactly happens? You know, where the procedure happens and all those things. I can see you have like some of the materials over there.
Yeah.
So do you want to just take us through what the process is all?
I came set just to explain this, to shed light.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
So I have some diagrams here.
Okay. Do you want to hold it so that the camera can see?
Yeah, I want to hold it.
Okay, but we also have to be mindful of PG.
Yeah, so this one is tubal ligation.
Okay.
It's a permanent method. Permanent method for women. So what happens, these are the tubes, these are fallopian tubes.
Okay.
These two, we have
the left. Do you want to turn it a little bit?
Okay.
Yes, there we go. Yes.
So we have two, we have the left, the right and the left. So what happens during this procedure, this we tie here, this place, and here.
Okay.
So once it is tied, we do a cut.
Okay.
Yeah,
so where exactly do you?
Both ends are tied. This on this other side, and this is also tied. So this is the ovary, right?
Yeah.
So when this place is tied, this ovary will not go this other side. Like for example, the sperms are deposited here. They'll have to travel to this fallopian tube for fertilization. Now you see when it is tied, this ovary or this sperms will not be able to pass here. So there will be no fertilization. Once this egg is not fertilized, then we'll not be having the pregnancy.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And I mean, at what point is this procedure done? Like we said, this is for someone who is 100% sure that they do not want to have kids, right?
Yeah, that is number one. That you must be sure that you don't want to have any children in future. Okay. Yes.
It's permanent. So at what point is this procedure done? Because I've seen some ladies who shared their stories and said immediately after birth, and especially when they've had their cesarean section, is when they have the procedure done. Others have waited for like 4 months, 5 months. You know, others a little bit later. So at what point is the procedure
we have what we call timing of the procedure.
Okay.
There is what we call interval procedure and postpartum tubal litigation.
All right.
So this the interval procedure is performed, let me say, during the postpartum period. It can be performed within 6 weeks or after delivery. Let me say within after delivery, during the CS or during normal delivery. That is a SVD, when somebody's mother give birth through the spontaneous vaginal delivery. Yeah, so that's also very possible. Like this postpartum. Postpartum means this mother is just given the first 6 weeks of birth. Yeah, so when you have you go through cesarean section, once the baby is out, the tubes can also be done at the same time.
All right.
Yes. Or after when you get the normal delivery, you go the normal delivery, you can talk with the doctor over there to schedule you within 7 days. Yes. So it's still very possible.
Okay.
Yes. You don't need to wait until 2 years or 3, then when you come back.
Okay.
Yeah, it can be done within 7 days.
Okay.
Yes.
Is age a factor when it comes to tubal ligation? And I'm asking this because, okay, and especially for those cases where we've had people, you know, and stories of women who just want theirs clamped and not completely cut. Is that, first of all, is that an option? Because I've had a lot of ladies say mine was just clamped. Okay, the tubes were not completely cut. And I know our focus yesterday is on permanent, so that means it's tied and cut, right? Yeah. But for those ones who just want theirs clamped, right? They were saying the younger you are, the higher your chances of pregnancy, right? But the older you are, you know, maybe not so much.
Sure. When we get such clients, we love to really sit down with this client and talk to her, and we make sure that we tell her that this method, it's a permanent method. It's reversible. So when this client would want to have children in future, we'll actually cancel another family planning methods that are also long-term methods that we have. So that these long-term methods, when you are ready to get your children, you can come for reversible. They can be reversed, like they're being removed, and then your fertility returns immediately. But this one, once it's done, it's not reversible. Yeah, so if somebody wants to get children in future, we'll advise or we'll counsel her accordingly, so that she may consider the other family planning methods that are available.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So for this one that's permanent, so there's no there's no chance.
Once we've done this,
that's it.
That is it.
Okay. Yes. But so
for the young girls, like when we find this client, we really want to assess that. Is this really what she wants? You need to know whether she's of sound mind first. Was she coerced, or there's something that is pressured? Is she just sure that this is what she really wants? We need to talk to our counselors to counsel this young girl and be sure that she don't want to.
This is exactly what
she
they
wants.
Want. Yeah.
Before we proceed.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Because again, I mean, people make decisions under different circumstances, right? One might think, I never want kids, or I have enough kids and I'm okay with this, but then later on, you know, they might want, you know, they might change their mind as far as having kids is concerned. So that knowledge that this is a permanent, irreversible method. I think it's important for all the people to understand. Okay. So can we also talk a little bit bit about vasectomy, because like we said, there's a lot of conversation, surrounding vasectomy. And even in today's paper, let me just read it very quickly. And I'm sure you know about the Kakamega couple, the man went through vasectomy, and then all of a sudden the wife is pregnant. And also on today's paper, that is The Nation, the Daily Nation, there's a man who also underwent vasectomy, just thinking that now he is sterile, he's okay, no chances of pregnancy. And then later on, the wife got pregnant. Right, and of course he's sued and all those things. So it's a long story. Read that on the second page of the Daily Nation, just to get to understand. So what are the chances, and especially for vasectomy, before we even talk about what are the chances that one might impregnate a woman, right, after going through vasectomy, what exactly happens during a vasectomy procedure?
During vasectomy procedure, we also do the same thing. We focus on the tubes, but now in vasectomy we focus on the vas deferens, where that is the passage where sperms are. That's like a transportation linkage. It transports sperms from the epididymis to the urethra, then it's being deposited during the intercourse. So that's what we target on. So once we cut it, then we are sure that there will be no passage of sperms. But you will still have the semen as usual. You will still juice, you will still release, but there will be no seeds, there will be no sperms in it. Okay. So after this procedure, somebody needs to come back for review or checkup. During this checkup, we do what we call seminalysis. We need to do this test just to confirm that was the procedure successful. Is there some traces of sperms that are still there in your semen? Yes. So immediately after the procedure, the first 3 months, we advise the clients to use backup methods like trust condom, or you can abstain for or your partner can be using other family planning methods just to be safe in the first 3 months. When you come for checkup in the first 3 months, that's we will collect the semen, the sample. We do what we call seminalysis. This will be able to tell us whether there's traces of sperms in it. After you've done the procedure, we expect you to have zero sperms. Okay. Yes.
All right. So what would go wrong that then this man would impregnate another woman even after going through a vasectomy? Because like I said, it's cut, right? So there shouldn't be any linkages, right? But sometimes it happens. So what is it that would go wrong? Is it that the men couple rather are not patient enough to wait for the 3 months to go back for the
I think the case of Kakamega or something, I'm not sure, but if you really don't come back for checkup, you would have missed, because before we give this procedure to you, that is the one thing you need to tell you that this percentage of coverage, but we need to reconfirm whether the procedure was complete. So you need to come back. There's need of coming back just to check, just to do this seminalysis, just to check there is no semen that you release. Sometimes clients would come for the first 3 months. We still see some traces. We still advise to abstain for another 1 month, so that when the following month you again come and we do another test before we decide on maybe this procedure failed. Yes. Okay. But in 1,000, I think there's only 2 people.
Okay.
Yes. So that is how effective it is.
And that's why I'm asking, so what exactly does failure mean when we say this vasectomy procedure failed, all right? What exactly does that mean? But can you answer that after the break? Because we need to take a break right now. But remember, it's all about permanent family planning methods today. And of course, our focus is on vasectomy as well as bilateral tubal ligation. All right. So if you have any question as far as these 2 procedures are concerned, feel free to send them our way. That is at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on Twitter. Tag me as well at Lubembe_Winnie. But again, if you want to call in live and ask your question, concern, want to share your story as well, feel free to do so. Our lines are open, but of course we'll be picking your calls after the break. Stay with us. This is Your World.
What can I do for you, gentlemen? If you're asking me to pay, everything's paid.
We are from the criminal police, and you have to come with us. You have been accused of possessing illegal taxis.
What?
What? I don't want to hear another complaint about this issue. And as for you, nosy big guy, you're taking me to wherever you have Chato locked up and you're setting him free immediately!
But...
There are no buts! Alright, listen, children. I'm happy to announce that I'm going to marry Chato.
What? But that's impossible!
Mother, I don't agree with you!
Head over heels. Crystal Rivers Residences, adjacent to the Nairobi Expressway. 3 bedrooms with master en suite. You and your loved ones will experience fine living. Furusha your landlord with our special offer of 50K per month. The future of fine living.
Taarifa Teke na e-paper. Stay in the know on the go. Getting the full story Bilangori. To sign up, choose your preferred subscription. Use the promo code SUBZ22 to get 20% off and pay. Get your favorite newspaper and enjoy the truth anywhere, anytime. For inquiries, email epaper@ke.nationmedia.com or call 0790 111 111. Subscribe today and get your Taarifa Teke.
Na misteri no nga fagi pendene lace the misteri no nga ti browse on flick the misteri no nga mnika na next week the misteri
Only on the trend at 10 p.m.
The Trend in association Techno Camon 20 series.
Cascadia Apartments at 2 Rivers Development in Nairobi with a Madaraka offer till 30th June 2023. Price start from 9.2 million. Call us today on 0742 342 722 or text Cascadia to 22365.
All right, welcome back. Glad to stay with us. The show is Your World, and of course today it's all about permanent family planning methods. And of course our focus for the day is on vasectomy and bilateral tubal ligation. Of course, like I said earlier on, we have done, a conversation, or we've handled the conversation on vasectomy right here on the show, and where men I think a lot of men are scared about this. But again, we also have some who've gone through the same and they are okay with the same, because majority of them, and especially the ones that we've talked to, said, listen, I have seen what, you know, my wife or my girlfriend, you know, has gone through as far as, you know, contraception is concerned or family planning. And I have decided to take matters into my own hands and just help her out. Okay. But there's some who are like, absolutely, positively, no, I cannot do that. So it's the woman to handle all those things. But what we're saying today is family planning should not be a one person's, you know, thing or process to go through. A couple can agree and see what fits for them. All right. Although we've also had a few stories as far as vasectomy is concerned that, you know, they were not successful. All right. So that also raises a lot of concern among so many people. But again, we're just getting to understand, first of all, why is that the case? What are some of the chances that, you know, vasectomy or even tubal ligation might actually fail? And, you know, how long should you wait after the procedure? And of course, Wycliffe said 3 months at the very least, right? You should wait for at least 3 months, then go back for checkup for review before you're given sort of like a quote-unquote a clean bill of health that you are completely okay, right? And during break, we were discussing about how what, you know, causes the vasectomy, the procedure to fail. And you were saying sometimes men do not want to go back, and especially those ones who've decided to go for vasectomy do not go for review, right? And that is a problem in itself. Okay, why is that the case? Why are they supposed to go for a review?
For a review, like I said, for example, when you maybe a man had intercourse yesterday, okay, and today you are there at our facility, you want to do this procedure, okay, we really can't solve it after we've looked at the eligibility criteria and you all meet the criteria. We still provide the service. We will not deny you the service. But once the tube is cut, like I said, let me just show you something here. Okay. You see this is the testes and sperms are normally produced here. Right. But this is the passage, the vast difference. This is what we cut. So let me say you had sex the other day and maybe in this tube, there are still some traces of sperms. All right. You know, we've only blocked the ones that are now new, that are newly to be produced. So there'd be no passage for this one that are still here. But remember, there's some that already moved up. Okay. Yeah. So the reason why we tell you to come back, it's just in case there was any still traces of sperms on this on this tube here, on the vas tube. So we'll have to confirm if they are motile or immotile. That will mean if they are alive or dead. Okay. That's why you are told to come after 3 months. Because you said they can stay. After 3 months, we expect that there will be zero. They'll be dead, sure. But when you don't come within 3 months and you continue the intercourse against what we've discussed in the maybe in the room, constitution room, and against our advice, where you might still eliminate your partner simply because there are some traces of sperm that were still in your urethra or still on the vas. Yeah, sure. And
like you said, they can stay there for up to 3 months.
For 3 months. That's why we are advised to come back for seminalisis. Seminalisis also will help us to just know that there are no sperms, surely on the vas. Okay, yes. I hear you. All right. So the question that we had asked you, very simple question: would you ever consider a permanent family planning method? And like I said, a number of you have a lot to say. Okay, so let me just sample through. So Hannah Nyanda, this is on Facebook, says, for those who feel they're done with having children, it's a good idea. But for those who are still looking to have children, but again, the decision is theirs. All right, very true. And then Agatha Imbimi, this is the comment I was looking for earlier on, says, I did it 11 years back and I am fine. All right. And of course, there's a lot of questions, you know, for her. Okay. And one person is actually asking about the complications, which again, we'll look at, you know, what are the risks? What are the benefits? You know, how long does it take to recover, you know, and all those things. Yes. We'll go through that very quickly. And then someone else says, family planning is the cause of divorce in Kenya. Okay. And then another one says, this is Mamake Njuguna says, yes. Jessica Nanyu says, yes, I did it 8 years ago and I'm loving it. And then someone else says, this is Waithera Mwari wa Morrison says, yes, TL all the way, tubal ligation, right? And then
Someone else says, this is Rogers Kibetto, who says, permanent, a big no. Better go for long-term family planning rather than permanent. Okay. And then Bianca Ruth says yes. Jean Wambui on Facebook still says, at my age, yes. Okay. And then someone else says, Ugwok Linda says yes, a big yes. All right. Doris Angela says yes, yes, yes. Millicent Marvel says yes, of course. Chebet Kate says yes. Eunice Wambui says I did it 11 years ago. Wangari Tesh says yes. I mean, yes. And majority of the people who are saying yes, they would go for permanent family planning method are women. We see men.
Yeah, I think we still need to have a lot of public education about this whole thing, just to even involve men in family planning, just to tell them that it's not really a thing of women only. Even men can come in to assist their partners in this. Yes.
What are some of the concerns that you've had from men who say, yes, I would consider vasectomy, but what are some of these buts that you've had that you'd want to demystify right here, right now?
Yeah, some of the things, like, you know, let me say, some men would think like maybe they don't know how the procedure is done.
First of all, yes.
Yeah, maybe some people would fear maybe it's a surgical procedure, which is not. Yeah, maybe it's just a minor procedure.
Minor incision that's made.
It's a minor. In fact, it's non-scalpel. Yeah.
Okay.
I described it as non-scalpel. There's no scalpel. There's a special forceps for that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So there's no worry, there's no pain like per se. Yeah, because the procedure takes around 15 minutes and then you are done. It's a minor procedure. You can even do it outside the hospital for setup. You can just set a tent. Let me say, like when you are in outreach. Yeah, you can do it in a tent, because you'll use what we call local anesthesia. That is enough to numb that area, and then the procedure is done within 15 minutes. And then you have maybe your 30 minutes rest and then walk home comfortably. Then after 3 days you can resume your sexual intercourse.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like we said, you know, earlier on, majority of the men are like, will I still be able to ejaculate? Will it affect, you know, my sex drive? Will it? There's a lot of right. There's like a lot of concern about that.
Yeah. Vasectomy does not affect your sex drive, because the main aim here is only to block the sperms. The semen will still be there. The ejaculation will still be normal. Yes. You still have a normal erection. You still have normal. You still release normally as any other man. So, but you'll be releasing, but without sperms. There'll be no seed. Yes. The semen will still come out usually. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So can we just go back to tubal ligation, because again, like we said, we've done a conversation on vasectomy before, right here on Your World. But just getting to understand more on tubal ligation. So so they're tied and they're cut, right?
Sure.
So how long does the procedure take? Is it painful? How long does it take to recover? Are there complications? I know those are a lot of questions in one. But yes, can we just start with you know, the procedure of how long it takes?
This one will take like 20 to 30 minutes.
It's invasive, right?
It's not invasive. It's a minor procedure.
It's a minor procedure.
It can also be done under local anesthesia, and it can also be done in outreach setup, not necessarily in the hospital setup. Yeah. So we have different methods of, or let me say, types of this procedure. Yeah. There is one we call mini laparotomy. Mini will just mean we make a small incision, just below the umbilical. Like here, you see this I don't know whether you're able to see here. You just make an incision less than a centimeter here.
Yes, very tiny.
Very tiny. In fact, somebody will think that you're going in for another CS, which is not the case. This thing is just a minor procedure. We just make a small, tiny mark here below the umbilicus, and then the tubes we have some forceps that we use to just hold, and then we tie the tubes, and then when it's tied, we cut both ends, the left and the right.
And then you remove them?
Yeah, then they're completely removed. So at both ends, we make a knot on the left and a knot on the right. Yeah. So you can be sure that even if you had sex, and there will be no the sperms will not be able to pass that knot to the other end. Having the egg. So the sperms and the eggs will not meet for fertilization. Once the egg is not fertilized, it will not be pregnant.
There will be no egg because this other end has been removed.
Sorry, we don't remove any eggs.
You don't remove it.
The eggs, what we deal with is the tubes. The eggs will be there. The eggs will not be touched.
Yeah. All right.
They are the tubes.
Oh yeah, because then someone was talking about chances of ectopic pregnancy. But then again, like we said, if you're cut, so there's no linkage between
there's no
the two, right? So there's no chance of ectopic pregnancy because the egg, you know,
like I said, let me say the best time to have this procedure done for women, it's the first 7 days when you are on your menses, because we are very sure you are not pregnant. So let me say, if you are, for example, maybe you had sex yesterday and you are fertile, maybe the egg was fertilized. So then we've tied the tubes. There's no, this tube will not be able to move for implantation. And then it was fertilized yet, so it will not be able to pass here for implantation in the uterus, the wall of the uterus. So what happens if it was fertilized? You can really have the high chances of getting ectopic pregnancy, because now fertilization took place here, and then now it will be implemented here, because this place there's no through way for implantation. That's why we can be able to really say that you had the ectopic pregnancy, but low chances. So to avoid this, we must also be very sure that you are not pregnant. We do several tests. We have to make sure that we scan you properly, and then we just do proper screening. All right. We have to be sure that you are not pregnant. It's important to note that.
Though very minimal chances for the same, but that is one of the concerns that people have, and that is, or complications that might arise, is a case of ectopic pregnancy, right? Any other complication that might arise from tubal ligation?
Maybe infection. Basically all other procedures has side effects like infections, but they're very minimal. Once you just follow instruction on how the wound care, because you'll be left with like a small wound there that will be easy to care for this wound. But when you don't give good care to the wound, you might get the infection. Not the severe infection, but with the antibiotics it can be resolved. So even before we do this procedure, there are also screening eligibility criteria that we also take clients through. When you have existing maybe condition or let me say some infections like PID, you have to be treated first, because now we don't want to put another like things like uncontrolled diabetic. This one will delay wound healing. So we must make sure that your blood sugar is first controlled, and that's when we give you the procedure. We always make sure that we do proper screening so that all our clients are safe, so you don't get complications. With proper screening and the facility of the service provider, this will also help you that the complications are reduced. Or there will be zero complication.
All right. But then are there some people who are completely excluded from this procedure, that is tubal ligation? I mean, minors do not want to to go through this.
So for example, when you come to our facility, and then we just talking freely in there, we will welcome you. We'll make you feel free to talk to us. We'll be able to ask you where you are to have this procedure. When there's something, when we realize that somebody pushed you to have this procedure done, or you just decided the same day, maybe because you are under some pressure, we will still not give the procedure. We really want to give a procedure that you've really consented for, you really want it, and nobody pushed you to have it done. So that you don't regret that, why did I have to do this, and I still want to have other children.
All right, and minors and all those things. Fine. What about the hormones, right? I've had a lot of women have this concern that will it affect, our hormones in one way or the other after you go through the procedure?
No, because this one, like this is a method of family planning method that does not have any hormonal effect, because we are not going to touch any hormone or something that's going to trigger any hormone.
But it's like you know how the body works and functions, and it knows what it's supposed to do, right?
Yeah, sure.
But then now you have blocked sort of like something that potentially is supposed to happen naturally. Wouldn't the body sort of like react in some ways, like, hey, okay, I'm confused, what exactly is happening? This is supposed to go through.
In this case, you know what we are blocking is sperms.
Okay.
Because a lady cannot be pregnant without these sperms.
Yes.
So this thing, what we are blocking here is the passage of the sperms to the ovary. Yes. Okay. So I don't think if it will be able to interfere with any other system. Yeah, because you can stay when you don't have, the intercourse, there will be no sperm deposited on you. I don't think if you don't receive these sperms, there will be any effect on you. Your system will still continue normally. Yeah. So what we are dealing with is just to block the sperms from fertilizing the egg.
Okay.
Yeah, but normally also when the eggs are not fertilized, you release it at the menses.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What about like one's periods? Because again, someone said, will it, the concern again was still there, that will this affect my periods, in the sense that, I mean, unfertilized egg usually is released, right?
Yes.
And then, of course, the shedding has to take place.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
So, because now there's a blockage over there. So most ladies are like, so then what exactly happens? Like, will it also have like an impact on my periods
on
as
your
well?
Periods?
Yes.
No, even after you've done this procedure, when you're having your periods maybe 4 days, it will still remain the same.
Okay.
Yes, there'll be no change on that.
Okay.
Yes.
It will not affect your periods. It will not mess up with your
hormones.
hormones.
What comes out as period is the unfertilized egg. Now it's shedding off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here, this method will also facilitate that this egg not to be fertilized. That would mean you will still continue with your normal periods.
Yeah.
It will not change. Yeah. But once it is fertilized, you will not have the
you will not have your periods. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not mess up your period, not mess up with your hormones.
Yeah. There are no side effects.
No side effects, you say?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aside
Compared
from
to other family planning methods, like the ones that have hormones. When you have the interaction of natural hormone and the artificial hormone, that's when you can have the side effects. But this one purely doesn't not touch something with hormones.
Okay.
Yeah, because now what you're blocking is fertilization.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I hear you. So then after the procedure, how long does it take before someone, goes back to, the completely healed and can go back to their day-to-day activities?
For the tubal, I think patients who come over there, we normally release them the same day. There's no admission or something. But after 1 hour, you can go back. But normally for wound healing, you can give up to 3 months, then the wound will be healed.
Oh, up to 3 months?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Unless, yeah, sure.
Okay, so for those then
because
3 months, what are some of the things?
A small incision.
Yeah. So then, what are there things that maybe you're supposed to avoid? Maybe like strenuous activities. As some people will be like, okay, will I be able to be intimate with my partner or not for those 3 months? And all those things. Just concerns. Are there things that women are supposed to do to avoid?
Not really. For like compared to the one that we talked about for men, where you have to maybe wait for 3 months. For ladies, it's immediate.
All right.
Yeah, it works immediately.
Okay.
You don't need to wait for 3 months. Yeah.
Okay.
So when you decide that when you and your partner, if that is you, the lady who is going for this procedure, you cannot wait for 3 months because it works immediately compared to the one for VAS. Yes.
Okay. Where you have to wait for at least 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one.
All right. And like we said, it's very, like, the complications are very minimal, the risks are very minimal, and all those things.
Yeah.
But one might be concerned and say, listen, so the mark, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, it's very tiny, right? It's very tiny.
In fact, even CS these days, it's just a big kidney scar. Nobody would even realize that you had CS.
But you have to take care of the wound.
Wound care is very important. The first 1 week, wound care is very important to help the healing process.
All right. So, but do they have to, I mean, for those women who decide to go for tubal ligation, in this case bilateral, meaning both, right?
Yes, sure.
So then do they need to go for like reviews and whatnot just to check, make sure that everything is okay? Because the reason why I'm asking this is because I read a story of a lady who went through the same, but she got pregnant. They were saying the younger you are, you know, sometimes they can just go back together and, you know, you think you're okay, but before you know it, you're pregnant, right? Pregnant, so reviews, how long is it supposed to go?
It's 99%,
meaning there's that 1% chance that you might.
That remains. But chances of ladies getting pregnant after this is not very easy. Maybe I would want to know if she tells you that after how long did she get pregnant. Maybe she got pregnant before having the procedure.
And she did not know.
She did not know. That's why we are saying that before you get this procedure, we must do screening, a proper screening, to ensure that all the clients that are undertaking this procedure are eligible. That's one of the eligibility criteria, that we must ensure that you are not pregnant, so that you don't sue us.
Right. And say the procedure did not it did not work. Okay, but then, I mean, you still have to go for review after the procedure, just to make sure.
In fact, when you go to hospital, it's just good to go back for checkup. Even if you are okay, it's just good to go back for checkup and see your doctor and just share with him or her how you are progressing. It's important. Like for when you have such incisions that I know it's an incision, you need to come back and just tell us that, you know, the scar is healing well. So you just say, you just need to come and check, just in case there was something that we missed or something that may be developing that you got from home, maybe an infection or something. You'll be able to sort it so that it doesn't escalate. Yes. So it's important for all other procedures. After you've done any procedure, it is very important to come back. In fact, in our facility, we give you a card. We also do a follow-up, a phone follow-up, just to ensure that you'll be available on your follow-up when you're booked. For follow-up. Sure.
All right. So again, like we said earlier on, it's very important for people to really understand that this is permanent. So before you make this decision, make sure that this is the decision that you want to make in the first place, right? So that we avoid anything that could happen later on, you know, regret and all those things. But how common is it? I'm just curious, in the country, how common is tubal ligation? Because from the comments we've seen, you know, a number of women who said, yes, I've gone through the procedure, I've done mine like 11 years ago, someone did it, you know, years back. So how common is it? Do you see a lot of women?
For tubal, I think now it's because of maybe public education and such things, people are getting to know about it compared to a number of years back. I think the community will still need to do more of public education, just and awareness, just to tell the women that the other method, the other things that you can do. Should not struggle. You've reached the desired number of children that you want. Should not struggle again to. Maybe you should not have stress that now I've tried this other family planning method, it's not working for me. What else should I do? You know, so that's why we are saying our door is very open. You can come and share with us. Always you can give us a call wherever you are, anywhere in the country, and we'll be able to sort you out. You know, so you must not come to the clinic. We can be able to tell you whether we are coming for some outreach in your area, or when we book you for this project to be done, you'll just come and share with us. So I think we still need public education and awareness, just to ensure that we educate people, the community, we educate everybody that there are methods that you can really be used to help us prevent pregnancy. When we reach the desired number of children. That's the one of the criteria that we first have to ensure, that when you come over there, we ensure that our client that is her decision. She will not want to have any more children.
Okay.
Now when you come, when you're still 50-50, you might regret later.
Yeah.
You might come back and call her, you know, I got this procedure done here, but now I'm thinking otherwise I really want to have 2 more children. Yeah. Actually, before we do this procedure, we'll give you a consent to sign. Okay. We shall take you through the consent and just ensure that you've got
really
it right.
Yeah.
Yes. So you can change your mind anytime, and then we can still advise you on other methods that are available. Okay. The long-term methods, but reversible. So that when you want to have 5 years, you can wait for 5 years or 10, then you come back, we remove, and then your fertility will turn immediately, and you can get the child.
Okay.
Yeah. Once you are decided that this final, then you can
don't
come
want
for
it
the
anymore.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because again, like we said, a lot of people make these decisions based on different, circumstances. Yeah. So it's important to be sure. Okay. Yeah. And for vasectomy as well, because over the past few years, even like last year and the year before, there's a lot of conversation surrounding vasectomy. So I wonder how common that is. Do you see a lot of men embracing vasectomy now as compared to like a few years back?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I think people have got information, and in the world today, a lot of things on social media and such stuff, people are getting information, and people are desiring to even help their partners in this journey of family journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as I said, we still also need to do a lot of public sensitization just to ensure that even men, they know the importance and what it entails of supporting this mom.
Yeah.
Yes. So when a mother maybe gave birth to 5 children, now she need not to go and again take family planning. You can chip in as a man and just say, my darling, let me help you on this. Yeah. Let me go for VAS.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Yeah. Okay, I hear you. Supportive.
Yeah.
Be supportive.
It's a good,
all right. Yeah. Okay. So then, as we bring this to a close, because I can see our time is far much spent.
Yeah, sure.
Because, like you're saying, we still need a lot of sensitization to happen right now, so that people first of all get the correct information. As far as permanent family planning methods are concerned, so that we demystify first of all, because there's a lot of stigma, still surrounding the same. So it's important that people have the correct information. Yeah. So in like 10 seconds, what would you say to the people watching us today, and especially when it comes to stigma, as far as family planning methods are concerned, the permanent ones? Very quickly, 10 seconds.
Okay, thank you. I will encourage men to really come to the facility and ensure that you get the right information about this vasectomy. It is a very minor procedure that can be done in 15 minutes. And then you walk home safely. There are no complications, but ensure that if you take this procedure, ensure you follow instructions that you are given by your service provider. Ensure you come back for checkup. Ensure you allow us to do the seminalysis to ensure that you are safe. Yes, there are no more spams. Yes.
I see that. All right. Just follow instructions. I think basically that's it.
That is it.
That's what we're saying.
Like when we say come on Tuesday, come that Tuesday. We do this test before you engage. Yeah, sure.
All right. I see that. Thank you so much, Wati, for family planning service provider, helping us really understand, on the permanent family planning methods. A number of you, especially on Twitter, they're like, no. The other one says no. And then Tony Obino says, with this economy, you must plan your family. All right. But get the correct information before you decide to go on this route. My name is Winnie Lubembe. Have yourselves a lovely day ahead. I'll see you tomorrow morning right here on Your World. But until then, God bless and goodbye for now.